Chris Klieman is entering year 7 at Kansas State, and he has been phenomenal. A 48-28 record, a Big 12 title back in 2022, and he has recorded at least 8 wins, 8 or more wins in 5 of the 6 seasons that he has been in Manhattan, including each of the last 4 seasons. But now it's time to take that next step. A Big 12 title in 2022 was great, but it wasn't good enough to get into the college football playoff. Now it's time to compete for national titles, compete for playoff spots. And this could be the year the Wildcats do just that. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. Ready to break down some Kansas State football as we get closer and closer to the start of the college football season and closer to the start of prediction season right here at the channel. All the more reason for you to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below. Our content over on thegridironexpert.com, home to our weekly newsletters, home to our expert picks that will be coming your way very, very soon. Some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the entire country. Do not miss out on those. The link for everything down in the description below so you can get your football fix with us year round. So, again, I'm a big Chris Klieman believer. Been that way since he was at North Dakota State. Been that way since he's been at Kansas State. He's done, again, a phenomenal job being very consistent in Manhattan. But eventually you get tired of 8-win seasons, 9-win seasons. You're looking to break through. 2024 looked like that could have been that breakthrough year for the Wildcats, right? They were 7-1 late in the year. I mean, through 8 games, a third of the season left, you're sitting at 7-1. You're in the hunt for a Big 12 title. And obviously, if you win that, you are guaranteed a spot in the college football playoff. At least you were last year. So this was looking good, and then the Wildcats got upset at Houston. Not a very good Houston team, a game that Kansas State basically handed to the Cougars, lost that game by 5. They were killed by Arizona State at home. I know the final score was 24-14. It's not really being killed, but from start to finish, Arizona State controlled that game, and they lost to Iowa State in their season finale to drop 3 of their last 4 games of the season before mounting a big comeback in their bowl game to defeat Rutgers 44-41 to clinch a 9-4 season. Again, 8-4 regular season, bowl win makes it 9, not too bad, but they did have 2 one-possession losses, the one to Houston and the one to Iowa State, where if they win those, they're 10-2. They're probably playing for a Big 12 title, and maybe still could have slipped into the college football playoff even if they hadn't won that. So again, it's a couple of plays away from maybe being in that playoff, and we're not having this discussion right now. Not to say Kansas State's bad, not to say that they've been disappointing, but it is time for them to take that next step. And I think this could be the year that they do it. You take a look at the offense. Avery Johnson returns. So you're getting a veteran quarterback returning to Manhattan. Threw for over 2,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and also rushed for over 600 yards, I believe 7 touchdowns. So over 30 total touchdowns for Avery Johnson. Dangerous with his legs. Does need to improve a little bit as a passer. I think he will as we enter this next year. The biggest question mark for Kansas State is, and you hope it doesn't happen, what happens if he goes down, right? For any team, when you lose your starting quarterback, that's not a good thing. It's a dangerous thing, but most teams you would think or do have a capable backup. Kansas State doesn't have that. So the health of Avery Johnson all year long, and we're not even talking like torn ACL, we're talking about pulled hamstring here. If he is out even for a little bit, can Kansas State survive? Right now, we're going to say probably not. But we're not hoping that's going to happen. We don't think that's going to happen. Avery Johnson, if he's fully healthy, will be one of the better quarterbacks within the Big 12. He's got running back Dylan Edwards returning alongside him. Over 500 rushing yards last year, averaged 7.4 yards per carry. They're a leading wide receiver from last year. Jace Brown returns with over 800 reception yards and 5 touchdowns. Duran Bradley comes in from Boston College, a big-time pickup in the wide receiver corps. And the offensive line is extremely loaded. A lot of experienced transfers coming in. This is an offense, guys, that averaged over 426, I should say, yards per game last year. Still not a bad mark. And it has an opportunity to go even higher. Could be in the 430s, maybe in the 440 mark if things go their way. Defensively, always very strong at Kansas State. Right? I mean, Chris Klieman is kind of his mantra, right? He's a very physical coach. His teams are extremely physical, especially in the trenches, and his defenses are always very, very good, at least typically. Last year, no exception, Kansas State ranking 43rd in total defense, and now they do have 5 starters returning, including their top 2 tacklers, in Austin Romaine and VJ Payne. They do have a couple questions in the secondary. I would be a little bit concerned. I'm a Kansas State fan right there. You know, your front seven's looking solid, defensive line, linebacking core. What about cornerback? What about safety? In a Big 12 that's going to be very pass-happy and has a lot of really good quarterbacks this year, how is Kansas State going to address that, and how is their passing defense going to look throughout the year? That would be my biggest concern defensively. But up front, they do look pretty solid. Again, they've got some veteran leadership up there as well. So all in all, Kansas State, they've got the coach, they've got the quarterback, they've got the defense, they've got a lot of talent, and they also have the schedule. They've also got the schedule, which is really, really good. You look at the schedule, they open up week 0, and we'll be predicting this game very soon. Week 0 in Ireland against Iowa State. Talk about a great matchup. What should be a top 25 matchup to kick off the year, going to be over in Ireland, which is probably one of the better Irish matchups we've had in recent years. A lot of the recent ones. I mean, last year was good, Georgia Tech, Florida State, but still. That's going to tell us a lot, right? That game's going to tell us a lot about both teams. Iowa State and Kansas State both having Big 12 title aspirations, maybe college football playoff aspirations. That game is going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to tell us a lot about what to expect from these teams as we progress through the season. Their non-conference slate is not a walk in the park. They do play North Dakota and Army, so don't slouch on those games. Those should be wins for Kansas State. So at the worst, to kind of kick off the year, they're in theory 2-1, with maybe that loss coming to Iowa State. If you can win that and start 3-0, maybe the sky's the limit, because you look the rest of the way, in Big 12 play, they've got a lot of favorable matchups. At home, they're hosting UCF, TCU, Texas Tech, and Colorado. The two biggest ones to me there are TCU and Texas Tech. Both teams expected to be pretty solid this year, and Kansas State gets to host them at home. It's a very difficult place to play. On the road, their toughest road games are on the road at Baylor and Utah. Both teams facing some questions. I do like the Bears quite a bit this year. They've got quite a bit of talent. Ended the year on a high last year, winning 6 of their final 7 games. Utah, always a very difficult place to play, but certainly does have some questions across the board. Yes, they have to play at Kansas and Oklahoma State as well, but neither of those teams having as high expectations as they want. Two teams that were very disappointing in 2024 do have some questions again entering 2025. You would think that the Wildcats could manage to win both those games. The key in their schedule, and we'll break this down in further detail when we predict their record, Kansas State avoids. They do not play BYU, and they do not play Arizona State. They avoid the reigning Big 12 champions. The team that's going to be the probably preseason favorite to win the Big 12 in Arizona State. Kansas State does not play them. And BYU, who was very good last year and expect to be so again this year, they do not play them. And whether you were going to the desert, whether you're going to Provo, or even hosting them at home, they're not easy places to play. They're not easy teams to face. So Kansas State's got the schedule, right? Iowa State's not in Ames, it's not in Manhattan, it's in Ireland. It's a neutral site for both teams. Neither team going to have a true advantage over there. Your home games, you're getting Texas Tech, who you're high on. That's coming to Manhattan. TCU and their high-octane passing attack coming to your house. Colorado, no Shedeur Sanders, no Travis Hunter. How do they adjust? Coming to your house. Again, we're not saying Kansas State's going to go undefeated. You don't. You don't have to go undefeated. You don't even have to be a one-loss team. You can still be a 2-loss team and get to the Big 12 championship, a 2-loss team and make the college football playoff. The schedule lines up for the Wildcats to do just that. I honestly think anything less, and I'm not predicting this right now, but I think anything less than 9-3 with this roster and this coaching staff and this schedule would be a disappointment. Anything less than 9-3 would be a disappointment. And 9-3 might even be viewed as one if it doesn't result in a Big 12 title appearance or a college football playoff appearance. This feels like the year that Kansas State has to break through. Not saying they will, but it feels like they need this to be the year because the stars are aligning for a big breakthrough year. Chris Klieman, again, has been phenomenal. Not many teams would complain with winning 8 games or more in each of the last 4 seasons, 8 games or more in 5 of the last 6 years. I wouldn't complain about that, but eventually you're kind of tired of going to the Cheez-It Bowl and the whatever bowl, the Texas Bowl, and you'd like to take that next step to go to a more higher level game. 2022, an exception, great for them. Big 12 title, Sugar Bowl appearance. Now time to take a bigger step, compete for a national title. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Check out everything down in the description below. We got our expert picks over there. We got our newsletters over there. Tons of exclusive content to help you get through this offseason. And the offseason is going by very quickly. We're going to be at the start of the season very, very soon. All the more reason to take advantage of it. Become a member of our GE Nation. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.